Honorable Speaker, you saw at some point I had to close my ears because I cannot take these long lectures. You know, the English have a word called the windbag. Someone who talks for too long without making sense or making any serious contribution. So I had to close my ears because I'm tired of repeated windbags in this House.
I have a duty and a responsibility to protect those members, and I will protect them. Whether the Honorable Caroli Omondi closes his ears, his nostrils, his mouth, his eyes, I don't care.
Parliamentary Approval Act Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of Dr. Duncan Oburu Ojwang as the chairperson of the Independent Policing Oversight Authority. Yes, I think Caroli Omondi was fast on this one.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I've been struggling to go through the report to have clear understanding as with respect to the qualifications of the gentleman being proposed for chairperson role in the Independent Police Oversight Board. I've looked at the report and I must confess I don't have the benefit of accessing the full academic qualifications, but I notice certain things on page 21, paragraph 56 of the report of the committee. This gentleman, Duncan Ojwang, graduated in 2006 with a Bachelor of Arts degree from Indiana University. He then graduated 2 years later with Juris Doctor, which is equivalent to Bachelor of Laws, in law from Southern Illinois University in 2008. That is a 2-year period. Even within the US system where Juris Doctor is allowed, and this actually was a creation of the University of Chicago in the early 19th century, that particular program is normally a 3-year full-time program. So I would be curious, I would have loved the committee to explain to us how this was achieved within 2 years instead of the normal 3 years. And I suspect it is because of this particular situation that this gentleman has not been able to access the Kenya School of Law. Because the Kenya School of Law requires a minimum of 3-year degree program, without which you cannot join the Kenya School of Law and qualify to be an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. So the report is not helping this House very much to understand whether this gentleman is eminently qualified for the position to which he is proposed. If you go further, Honorable Speaker, this gentleman graduated with a master's degree from University of Indiana University in 2011. He then obtained a PhD degree from the University of Arizona in 2013. Again, a record 2 years. Again, I've not heard of him as one of the intellectual heavyweights like the late Hastings William Okoth Ogendo or Professor Ojwang or those other people. But a degree, a PhD in 2 years, again, is something that the committee should have provided us with more material to try and understand what kind of system this was. So, Mr. Speaker, as a House, I don't think we should proceed until material evidence is provided pertaining to this gentleman's academic qualifications that we can digest and make informed decision. Correct. Going further, Honorable Speaker, the qualifications of being a chairperson of IPOA is that you must have the qualifications of a High Court judge. And one of those important qualifications is impartiality. Impartiality is not just a function that of what you are doing in a particular case. Impartiality is a test of what you can ask a common bystander in the streets. If Caroli Omondi was asked, if you are asked whether Caroli Omondi is partisan in terms of his politics, what would a reasonable bystander say? This gentleman participated in the NADCO fiasco. He was one of the representatives of Kenya Kwanza there. And we all know how NADCO report proposed many illegalities and breaches of the Constitution to this House. This gentleman was a member of President Ruto's team in the election petition of 20...
There's a point of order, and just follow the rules of the House and debate. Proceed, leader.
Honorable Speaker, I think, Honorable Speaker, you may not have heard what the Honorable Caroli Omondi is saying of NADCO, which is saying that the nominee participated in the NADCO fiasco. Honorable Speaker, I was a co-chair together with an eminent Kenyan, former Vice President of the Republic of Kenya, the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka. We co-chaired the NADCO committee, which was formed pursuant to an agreement between Kenya Kwanza and Azimio la Umoja, and passed in a motion by this House. Honorable Speaker, the same report of the NADCO committee was adopted by this House as a report of the House. And Honorable Caroli Omondi says that the NADCO fiasco passed many illegal things without substantiating anything to Kenyans. Honorable Speaker, that is very unfair, not just to the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, myself, and the other 10 members of the NADCO committee, but also to this House, and is indeed imputing improper motive on the House. And Honorable Caroli Omondi, Honorable Speaker, must be ruled to be completely out of order, first to be referring to NADCO as a NADCO fiasco, and to also ascertain he may have his opinion, which is just like he has an opinion that any other Luo who is appointed to a position of to serve Kenyans other than him shouldn't warrant. That is why you see you have a problem with John Buddy. You'll have a problem with Duncan Ojuang.
Order, Caroli, you will get your chance.
But Luos are Kenyans like any other Kenyan. And they must be given an opportunity to serve the Republic of Kenya. Therefore, Honorable Speaker,
proceed, leader.
I want to really urge you, Honorable Speaker, that you protect those of our sons and daughters from Luo Nyanza, from the Honorable Caroli Omondi, who has this very high penchant of opposing and belittling every other Luo leader who is proposed to a senior position.
Honorable Wanjala, you are out of order. He is on a point of order.
I am on a point of order, Honorable Wanjala.
Take your seat. Proceed, leader.
Honorable Speaker, therefore urging you, Honorable Speaker, to protect our sons and daughters from the Luo nation who get positions, appointive positions, like those of Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi, a nominated position like this one we are asking approval for as chairperson of the Independent Police Oversight Authority, a very important job, Honorable Speaker, for Dr. Duncan Ojuang. But more importantly, Honorable Speaker, to find that Honorable Caroli Omondi is completely out of order to be imputing improper motive on the House, following its passage of the NADCO report, on all the members, including the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, former Vice President of this country, a great Kenyan who has served this country for many years, senior counsel, unlike Caroli Omondi, who is not a senior counsel. Senior counsel, you cannot be imputing improper motive on a senior counsel, the level of the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, that he could preside over illegalities, as he had said, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'll be contributing, so I'll address the other issues that are untrue that Honorable Caroli Omondi was addressing earlier.
Very well. Honorable Caroli, you may proceed. And as much as possible, let's not deviate to other matters or a sideline of really what you want to discuss. And you are doing very well. I was following you, and I really want to follow what you have to say. Proceed, Honorable Caroli Omondi.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Please allow.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Allow Caroli to proceed. Proceed, Caroli. Give Caroli the mic.
No, point of order, Honorable Speaker. You seem to be knowing what I want to raise.
Honorable Wanjala,
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Caroli, take your seat.
No, give me my microphone. You people, you are messing up this house.
No, you must be orderly. Okay. Okay. Honorable Wanjala, that's out of order. Take your seat. Caroli Omondi, proceed with your contributions.
No, but something must be clean, Honorable Speaker.
I will also
Honorable
not
Speaker,
take you out of the house. You want to get some simple sympathy, please take your seat and contribute like an ordinary member, honorable member. Proceed,
Honorable
Caroli.
Speaker, Honorable Speaker, you saw at some point I had to close my ears because I cannot take these long lectures. You know, the English have a word called the windbag. Someone who talks for too long without making sense or making any serious contribution. So I had to close my ears because I'm tired of repeated windbags in this house. Anyway, let me proceed. Honorable Speaker, why I'm talking about impartiality. One of the qualifications under our Constitution to be appointed as a judge is that you must be impartial. And that test is the perception that members of the public have over you. And I want to just ask a question. If today, the family of Cecil Ouma, who was shot dead on 30th June 2026 in the vehicle of PS Fikirini Jacobs, or the family of Shadrach Onyango, who was shot dead on 19th May 2026 at Busia Police Station, or the family of Frederick Odhiambo, who was also shot dead on the same day by police, or the family of Dennis Omondi, who was shot dead on 4th of May 2026, or Evans Otieno, who was shot dead on 23rd June 2026, or Michael Olo, who was shot dead on 23rd June 2026, or Eric Otieno, who is missing from July, or Albert Ojwang, whose case is still pending. If you ask those families, do they have faith that Duncan Ojwang can impartially investigate the cases surrounding the deaths, disappearances, or maiming of their family members when this gentleman has been intimately associated with the Kenya Kwanza administration? Their answer will be no. Their answer will be an emphatic no. And I can go on. I have a long list of young people from Luo community who have been abducted, who are missing, who have been maimed, who have been killed. If you ask their families, they will not believe so. And I think we can go further. There's history being repeated here. During the Moise regime...
Yes, Chair, there's a point of order. And be very patient and be orderly. He's very orderly. Proceed,
Thank
Chair.
you, Speaker.
This is a house of rules and order. It's not Budalangi. Proceed.
Honorable Speaker, I think the subject in discussion here is a candidate for appointment as the chair of IPOA, and we have got nothing to do with the missing person, abduction, and the rest. So I will kindly ask your intervention, Honorable Speaker, you indulgent, that I think we should discuss the subject of the chairman of IPOA, which is the subject before the House.
Very well. Caroli, proceed, but the rules of relevance, proceed and confine yourself to the debate.
Honorable Speaker, the rules of relevance are that we have to determine the impartiality of the candidate. And I've asked a simple question. A reasonable bystander or a member of a family that has been victimized, brutalized, murdered, maimed, or renditioned by the police would not have faith in him. That is the question. So it is part of the debate that we should have in this House. We should even go further and ask ourselves, you know, we have had a history of human rights abuses in this country.
Let's give Honorable...
During the time of President Moi...
Order. Take your seat. There's a point of order from Honorable... that's Nyakach. Proceed.
Chair, I would want to concur with the point of order which was raised by my chair, because the issue for determination is the suitability of Dr. Ojwang for this particular job. And the issue of Albert Ojwang has no relevance on this. I would want to discourage my very good friend and colleague Caroli Omondi from that. We know that the issue of Albert Ojwang is res sub judice, and there are there are pending criminal proceedings in court. So that has got nothing to do with this matter, which is before the House.
Very well, Honorable Duma. War. Yes, Chair.
I think it's on record. We did indicate that actually the candidate is an expert in human rights issues, which I'm sure in the context of even what Mheshimiwa Caroli is trying to insinuate is actually proper for the same position. And he didn't listen, he didn't interview, he didn't interrogate the candidate. The committee did. And a committee of the 15 members, Honorable Speaker. And you know them, they're representing both, every part of this country and every ethnicity. And I want to say without doubt, Honorable Speaker, this is the right candidate for the same job.
No, order.
The issue of the
Order,
grades,
Chair.
yes.
You will have the entire privilege to reply. So on that one, I'll make you sit. But let me hear the point of order from leader.
Honorable Speaker, mine is a reminder that I rose on Standing Order 87, 3 and 4, on imputing improper motive. And I did indicate, as much as Caroli says he can close his ears, you can even close your mouth and your nostrils and your eyes. But I am a stickler to rules and procedures of this House. And when any member imputes improper motive on either the person of a former member of this House, like the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, the co-chair of NADCO, or myself as a co-chair of NADCO, or the 8 other members of parliament, including honorable senators, like Senator Okongo Omogeni, as senior counsel, I have a duty and a responsibility to protect those members, and I will protect them. Whether the Honorable Caroli Omondi closes his ears, his nostrils, his mouth, his eyes, I don't care. But Honorable Speaker, I must beseech you in your position as the protector of the dignity of sitting and former members of this House to protect them from the vulgarities that you hear from the Honorable Caroli Omondi. And he did indicate that this nominee was involved in what he described as the NADCO fiasco. He further said that NADCO had illegalities. That NADCO report was passed by this House, which I have just confirmed from the Hansard, the Honorable Caroli Omondi supported and passed as a member of this House. But he cannot stand in his place and impute improper motive on all the other 348 members because suddenly he has become more intelligent than even senior counsels like Kalonzo Musyoka, than senior counsel Okongo Omogeni, senator, and all the other eminent men and women who served this country under the NADCO committee. Honorable Speaker, I want to beseech that you do find the Honorable Caroli Omondi. He either withdraws that reference to NADCO as a fiasco and the vulgarities that he described the ongoings within NADCO with, or you take action, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. Honorable Caroli, just take your seat. House of Rules, Order. I refer to Standing Order 87, which you can also refer to from where you are. It shall be out of order to introduce an argument or any other specific question upon which the House has taken a decision during the same session or earlier, except upon a motion to rescind that decision made with the permission of the Speaker. It shall be out of order to use offensive, insulting language, whether in respect of members of the House or other persons. And finally, on 4, no member shall impute improper motive to any other member or to a senator except upon specific substantive motion of which at least 3 days' notice has been given, calling in question the conduct of that member or senator. So I advise you to do the good work you are doing to prosecute your question, and to the extent that you want to drag the House, which respectfully you sit in in matters of that nature, you need to quickly get over that by apologizing and continue. You are doing a good job. Proceed.
Let us be a little factual. I'm glad you've read it out loud so the entire country has heard you. In this house, I have freedom of speech guaranteed by the Constitution and by our standing orders, and a freedom of my opinion. The word fiasco implies that something has failed, that something has failed. So when I say the NADCO report is a failure, that's my opinion. You can't take it away from me. It is my opinion, and it is part of my freedom of speech in this house, and under the House rules, under the parliamentary powers and privileges, and under our standing orders. So you cannot have a different opinion from mine. What is offensive about saying something has failed? What has been implemented about NADCO report? In the first place, the NADCO report recommends the establishment of the Office of Leader of Opposition, which by itself is unconstitutional, because our Constitution recognizes minority and majority sides in the House. There's no room for leader of opposition. So that is an illegality, and we can go and seek an interpretation.
Honorable Caroli, proceed and pursue what you are, because you are now going to other debates that were not part of this, and you are actually consuming your time.
Thank you very much, Honorable
Yeah.
Speaker. Let me proceed. As I was saying, in the history of this country, we have had a time when the Luo people have been put in charge of the police and security
Leader,
sector.
yes,
with
what's
the
out
sole
of order?
objective.
Caroli, take your seat.
Honorable Speaker, we are a house of rules, and there is a reason why this house is described as a house of rules and procedures. Honorable Speaker, you did advise the Honorable Caroli Omondi to apologize and move on. And he now makes it worse by saying that describing NADCO as a fiasco is his opinion. So what, Honorable Speaker, I dare beg the question. If I describe the Honorable Caroli Omondi as overly arrogant and stupid, would I say that that is my opinion?
Leader,
and I'm justified to that? It is not, because it is abusive, offensive
I
language
hope
against
that's
our
an
own standing
example.
orders. Honorable Speaker, you had given very proper directives to Honorable Caroli Omondi. He cannot now stand in his place and say it is now my opinion. What if now tomorrow I come and describe a member as stupid, as illiterate, yeah? And therefore, yes. I can read for you, if you can't read.
Very well.
And I'll read. Honorable Speaker, a fiasco is a total embarrassing failure or disaster. And that is a report of this House. We cannot describe a report of this House as a total embarrassing failure or disaster, presided over by 348 of us, because in Honorable Caroli Omondi's opinion, he is the most intelligent, he is the only one who knows, yet the same Caroli Omondi voted in this House for that report. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, you have heard now Honorable Caroli Omondi saying kwenda huko. This is a level of maturity, Honorable Speaker. I am begging the Honorable Caroli Omondi to exercise as a grown man, as a member of this House, somebody who is referred to out there as Honorable Caroli Omondi. And that's why I said, Honorable Speaker, it can be, in my opinion, that Caroli Omondi is stupid, but I can't use that language here. I cannot. I can say it out there in rallies and in funerals, but not on the floor of this House. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, if Honorable Caroli cannot stand in his place and apologize to the House, then you must rule him to be out of order and